The challenges of perimenopause and menopause are real. They are hard. I have experienced weight gain, sleep issues, energy issues, hot flashes, and probably more things than I can even think because I haven't attributed them to perimenopause and menopause yet. And here's the thing, I am a fitness and wellness professional. I know how to take care of myself. I know how to handle these things. And I've tried all the things, and most of them haven't helped at all. And so I wanted to do this video specifically for those of you who are in my position and are feeling really challenged, because I want you to know two things. You're not alone, and you're really not crazy. Things do change when we hit this time in our life, and it does make those things a little bit more difficult. I have tried so many things over probably the past couple of years, and I have been frustrated to the point of tears and bouts of sadness. And I wanted to do this video to share with you my story, as well as some of the things I've learned. And I wanted to share it with you even though I'm not quite through my transformation yet. Usually these videos come after the fact, right? Because I actually want to share my journey with you and hopefully have some of you who might want to go on it with me and have a community of people as we explore ways to handle who we are becoming and what we need to do in order to really fully embrace the second half of life, because I'm planning to be vibrant, energetic, and have a great time. Our hubby and I are recent empty nesters, and we've got plans. And I want to dive into this second half of my life with so much excitement, and I've got a few things to do in order to get there. So in this video, I want to first start with sharing my story. Again, my biggest thing from this video is I want you to come out with realizing even a wellness professional can be struggling. So you're not alone, you're not crazy, and you're not stupid, right? Like, this is just a hard time. I also want to share some of the things I tried that didn't work, and also some of the things I have learned, because specifically there are 3 rules of wellness that change, 3 that I've learned so far when we reach this certain age, if you will. And these are the things I'm going to be exploring over the next year. And I want to share my journey with you. I want to share the things I'm exploring, the things I'm experimenting with, things that are working, things that aren't working, and hopefully end this year at the end of my transformation so I can share the whole process as well with you. If you are new to my channel, this is not a usual topic that I share. And I've actually thought about starting a different YouTube channel for this because it is slightly different than what I usually do. I usually share life coaching and yoga videos. But this is an important story that I wanted to get out ASAP. If you are new, my name is Erdman-Luntz, and I've actually been a life coach and yoga educator for over 30 years. I have my master's in exercise physiology. I believe in wellness. I believe in fitness. It's my way of living. It's the best way to describe it. And the frustration of reaching this time of my life and really, really struggling has been so profound. Again, it's something that I feel like I want to put out there, because I want you to know that it is hard. If you want to continue to follow my journey, I'm going to be sharing more daily things on Instagram in my stories and Facebook. So I will put the links below for that. And I'll also do more videos here if this is something that is of interest for people to watch. We'll see how it goes. I just kind of need a little company, to be honest, a little bit of support. I'm not the only one I know, and I want you to know I'm here to support you. And I could use your support too, for sure. There are 2 things I have definitely decided as I move forward. First of all, I will figure this out. I'm convinced I can have the second half of life with the same vivaciousness, energy, excitement that I had with that first half of life. And the second thing is I am done with the negativity. I know this is something that I'm learning and evolving from, and my way of being really is positivity and saying there is a solution. I can find that silver lining in every cloud. So I'm choosing to see this as a time in my life when I am learning more about me and what my body needs, what my mind needs, what my heart needs. And that's not to say there won't be some tears, like right now, every once in a while. But in general, I'm seeing this as a time where I will find the solutions and I will figure this out. And I'm hoping I can help a few people along the way, because that's the main reason I'm doing this. I was talking to my own life coach and I said, wow, if I'm frustrated and I've spent at this point, 40 years studying this stuff, what are other people out there doing? Like, they must feel so alone and so annoyed with all of this. Add to that, most medical doctors aren't trained in menopause, so they don't really know either how to help us fully. I've got some resources I will share with you, one in particular that has really helped me on this path for myself. But so many of the symptoms of menopause can be seen as weakness, or you're not doing enough, or like you can't lose weight. Well, it's because you're not exercising enough, or you're not restricting your calories enough. Stay tuned. I've got a counter to that one, let me tell you. Or you're not sleeping well. Well, that's because you don't have good sleep hygiene. This is your fault, and that is just, we're not going there anymore. We're not doing that anymore. No, just no. So I want to start with my story and the things that I've tried. I'm going to make this kind of quick. And then I want to share with you the 3 things I've discovered so far that change when you reach a certain age, which changes the wellness rules of the things we have been focused on to the things we need to be focused on. And these things just don't help us anymore. Okay, so first, my story. I actually discovered fitness in the 9th grade, and I have not gone 2 weeks without exercising until I was pregnant. Long story, but got back to it after the pregnancy. I hadn't gone 2 weeks without exercising since 9th grade. I love fitness. I love moving my body. I love the energy I get. I discovered yoga when I was 18. I became a teacher at 22. I love everything about the energy I get from exercise. I love the feeling in my body. Come COVID, so I was in perimenopause when COVID hit. But I didn't have a lot of symptoms. I hit menopause during COVID. It was November 2020 or 21. I don't know. I didn't pay attention. And that's actually, I guess 2020 was when I had my last cycle probably. And then I didn't, so then you hit it. You reach menopause a day. It's actually a single day a year after your last period. So sometime in November 2021, then I'm guessing, maybe. Anyway, doesn't really matter. But a lot happened during COVID, and I know everyone was under stress. We went through a couple of really major traumas in our household. Literally, I went gray. I didn't have any gray hair until then, and I gained 20 pounds like that. And I mean, seriously, I was looking through photos, and it was like over 3 months. And what's interesting is I was so immersed in the trauma, I don't remember gaining the weight. Like, I don't remember noticing I was gaining weight. And then I have spent the last couple of years trying to lose it. And it's been really frustrating, really, really frustrating. And I will say that I did in 2021 or 22, I did intense exercise. I have no problem with getting my heart rate up, working out really hard, long, high intensity interval training. I actually enjoy it. I love getting that out of breath feeling. Didn't affect anything. I did no sweets, no alcohol for a long time, no processed foods, which for the most part I do anyway, so it wasn't that big of a deal. Just the no processed. I do like my wine and my desserts, I enjoy it, But, and And then I even did a restricted calorie diet. I've never counted calories in my entire life. I actually don't really believe in it, although I do know sometimes you need to do it. I just feel like it makes us a little bit more anxious about our food intake than is necessary. But I was desperate. And I had a calorie deficit for 3 months and I gained 3 pounds. Yep, so you're doing the math. I'm up 23 pounds at this point. And I really, the frustration, huge, absolutely huge. Now, during this time, my sleep was incredibly disordered. I was falling asleep easily, waking up at 2, and I'd be up for 2 hours, sometimes 3, and just not being able to get back to sleep. And then really just struggling with that, getting hot flashes that was affecting my sleep as well. So many things. Now, I want to make one thing clear before I go forward, because I really want you to hear this. I don't believe that we all need to be small. Okay? So that weight gain itself isn't an issue for me. If I love all body shapes and sizes, which is weird coming from a fitness professional, but I really do believe in that. You know, the fitness workout videos that I prefer are the ones that have all sizes of bodies in them. Okay, I just don't believe that we have to be thin, super muscular. And that's where I'm comfortable. Like, that is the body that I know. That's the body that I enjoy being inside of. So for me, the weight loss is not about image. It's not about looks. It's because that's what I'm comfortable in, and that's what makes me feel really good. And that's what I want to encourage for you too. So you want to find and think about what you enjoy from a positive place. Like, it feels good to reach for that. There isn't this, I don't not believe in I don't even know how to phrase it. Like, being overweight, to me, you can be healthy and overweight. That said, the weight I gained is in my belly, which is also the ones that are most tied to health issues. So I also want to release it, if you will, because I know it's also it's not good for my health overall. But I just wanted to make that really clear. And you can tell I'm having a hard time phrasing it because I don't buy into the we all have to be small mentality. I have always been into fitness because it helps me feel good. And that's what I think is everyone's goal, is we want to feel good. We want to have energy. We want to be alert. We want to feel good in our skin. And that is the most important piece. Okay, I'm off my soapbox. So I want to share with you the 3 things that change, 3 things I've learned so far that change at this time. And if you're not aware of what perimenopause is and then menopause, let me just do a super short 5-cent tour. Perimenopause is when your ovaries begin to shut down because you're past reproductive age, okay, and which means your estrogen and progesterone begin to decline. Estrogen is really the biggie from what I understand, and I am not a medical professional. I am a fitness and wellness professional, so this is just coming from what I have learned, because this is something that's not included in a wellness education, of course. But as estrogen declines, that's what causes all of these symptoms and issues. And I'm telling you, Google them, because you are going to be amazed. There is a list. There's like 25 things that can be associated with perimenopause. And that's why earlier I said I probably have other symptoms that I haven't associated with perimenopause, because I didn't know it was connected with a loss of estrogen. But that loss of estrogen is what changes to the rules of wellness. Now, the reason for that is a few things. And what's interesting is it's associated, all of them are associated with stress, or at least partially associated with stress. So we are more sensitive to cortisol as we reach this stage. I'm not exactly sure why, but that affects things, okay? So first of all, it gives you more belly fat, because that's where we store weight when we're feeling stressed. So when our body is under stress, it wants to protect itself, right? So it stores fat for extra energy just in case. Okay, so that's cortisol fat is carried in the belly. So the first rule that changes is we have to be more aware of truly relaxing on a regular basis. We have to be more aware of the stress that affects us and being able to maybe shift our lifestyle so we don't have as much stress and need to relax. At least, I always, it's my goal to really truly relax at least once a day, where you really can shut down and unwind and move into the relaxation response where you physically, your nervous system physically lets go. Now, I can talk more about that. This is something that I actually specialize in. So if you want more information about this, go ahead and give me a comment below. But just know that things you might be doing that aren't relaxing are drinking wine, vegging in front of the TV, and just sleeping. Those things you feel like you're relaxed, but you're just numbing yourself. And I now have a watch that tracks my stress levels, and sure enough, it's right. You know, if I drink some wine and sit around and chatting with friends or something, I look at my watch, my stress levels are still high. I am not unwinding. I feel relaxed, but you're not physically relaxing. So you have to actually figure out how to physically relax at least once a day. The once a day is my thing. That's the thing, my goal. But just know stress is affecting you so much more now, and you want to be really aware of that. The second rule that changes is how we exercise, or it might change. Depends on how you exercise. Okay, so those long, sweaty, hard workouts that I was doing, not a good thing because they release cortisol, and I don't want more cortisol in my system. What is more important really are two things, maybe three, okay? The first one is getting those steps in. What you want to be doing is getting a lot of exercise in your zone 2 range, which is, you can Google your exact heart rate. That zone 2 refers to where your heart rate is. Zone 1 is rest. Zone 2 is, low aerobic. Zone 3 is getting heavier. Zone 4, I think, is max. I don't know. I can't remember. It doesn't matter. You can Google what it is exactly if you want, or you can just know that zone 2 is where you are working, but not out of breath. I always like to say, you feel like, yeah, this is doing something, but you can still have a conversation with your buddy. So you can keep going. And you want like 40 to 60 minutes in a day total. I don't know if they have to be in a row. I don't do it in a row. I do a couple sessions a day. So I go for a walk in the morning and a walk in the afternoon. Just a 20-minute walk in the morning, a 20-minute walk in the afternoon, usually. I also have a stationary bike, which I use. I'm in Minnesota. My mornings are dark until 8:30. So if that's true, then I hop on the bike for about 10 or 20 minutes and get that same level of exercise. The second thing you want to do with exercise is you want to build up your muscles. As our estrogen decreases, we lose muscle fiber, and then we lose our metabolism as well. Like, it lowers our metabolism, which is how many calories we burn just on a daily basis, just living. Okay, your metabolism is just how many calories you burn walking around during your day, living life. Okay, so you want to be building up muscles, and we're not talking just using those 2-pound weights and doing a little bit. No, you want to be pumping iron. You want to really work hard to work those muscles and get a little bit of muscle fiber going. It doesn't mean you're going to bulk up. Don't worry, I hear that all the time. Well, I don't want to bulk up, and I always giggle because bulking up takes a lot of work. No, but you do want to be able to feel your bicep underneath your skin. You want to know that it's there, and that will help. It'll help you maintain your metabolism, and it also keeps you from losing more muscle fiber. So you're maintaining the muscle fiber that you have. You can get stuff back though, right? So the beauty of physiology is if you don't use it, you lose it. But if you start to use it again, you can get it back, at least most of it, okay? So you want to be building up some muscle fiber. You want to be working your body. The third thing you might want to consider is some high-intensity interval training. And I know, totally counter to what I've just said, but stick with me. What a lot of people have found is that a little bit of high intensity is really good for getting that metabolism up, but only 12 to 15 minutes, as I understand it. Now, this is my realm, my fitness realm for sure, but these are not things I learned in school. We were not taught how to work out during menopause. But 12 to 15 minutes, 2 to 3 times a week. So those everyday 30-minute high-intensity workouts I was doing, not good, because they release too much cortisol. 12 to 15 minutes, but only 2 to 3 times a week. Now, here's the caveat. If you happen to be like me and you've been through a lot of stress, your body may be cortisol sensitive, in which case I still can't do that. If I do that, I experience exercise malaise, which means if I get my heart rate up too hard, for 24 or 48 hours afterwards, I am so exhausted. I'm like on the couch, like chronic fatigue kind of exhausted. That's an extreme. Okay, I am definitely an extreme there. You probably don't have that. But what you want to do is test it for yourself. Do it once a week and then see how it goes. And then you can do it 2 times a week. Add another one. And if you're starting to lose more weight, feeling more energized, sleeping better, because that's what exercise affects all the things, then fantastic. Do it. Go for it. It's definitely appropriate for you. But if you're finding you're waking up in the middle of the night wide awake, or you can't get to sleep, or you're gaining weight, gaining even more weight, then go back to your zone 2 exercise and just focus on that. I am focusing on that. I focused on that for about 6 months or so. And next month, I'm going to add it back in and test that high intensity again. Just periodically, I pull it out and test it out. And that's what we have to do for ourselves, because unfortunately, there are no hard and fast rules. I wish there were. It's like this is what everybody needs to do and everyone will succeed, but that's just not true. We have to test for ourselves and see what works for us. All right, change number 3, how we eat. I was going to say how we diet, but boy, I don't like that word. I do not like that word. I don't believe in diet. Diet to me is just what I eat. My diet is what I'm currently consuming. I don't go on diets. I don't believe in them because, y'all, 30, 40 years in this business, they just don't work, because ultimately you go back to what you've always done, or at least start bringing back foods that you really enjoy because you've had to restrict yourself and you just gain all the weight back, you go back to where you were, right? But that said, I will say one of the things that changes at this point is that restricted calorie diets usually don't end up in weight loss. Okay, so stick with me. I say usually because, again, it's a little different for everybody. But in general, what happens when we restrict our calories is that it releases cortisol, because your body goes into survival mode. It's like, oh no, I don't have enough calories to get through the day. And it stores some of those calories. It reduces your body, lowers its metabolism, so it can store some of those calories to protect itself. I think I read somewhere there was research that was done that, if I remember correctly, that our metabolism adjusts within 3 days in a calorie-restricted diet. And I did it for 3 months. I gained 3 pounds. So that was my experience. And if that's your experience, now you know why. We don't want to restrict our bodies. We want to let our bodies know you're safe. It's okay. You're good, right? We want to love on our bodies. So what can we do? Well, there are a couple things that I have tapped into a little bit, but this is what I'm going to explore more over the next year. The first is an anti-inflammatory diet. Okay, so inflammation is also a source of a lot of the things that we've talked about, a lot of the symptoms, a lot of the issues, and you can Google it and learn more about it. But just know that an anti-inflammatory diet it's a really healthy diet. It's really good for you. And it's a good thing for a lot of people, if not everyone, to begin to explore and work on. And there's nothing super extreme about it. I focus on getting as many anti-inflammatory foods in my diet as I can, and then I don't have room for the other stuff, right? Like, I'm really working on that. I've also learned from Dr. Mary Claire Haver, who is one of the resources I highly recommend. I'm going to link below to her channel for you. She is a board certified OBGYN, and she is also menopause certified, and she is fantastic. I've learned so much from her, but she talks about getting your fiber up and your protein up at this time in your life. Like, it's really important to focus on those two things. So those are two things that I have started tracking. I will share my app with you, my food app. It's free. Chronometer, I believe. I can't remember what it's called, but I will share the link to it below in the show notes so you can check it out. But I follow my fiber. She says at least 25 grams, and you can push it up to 35. I got to tell you, just getting to 25 is work. And the second thing is getting your protein up, and you want to have 1 to 1.5 grams of protein per kilogram of weight. So whatever your weight is in kilograms, you want that many grams or that many times 0.5, like 1 to 1.5 grams per kilogram of weight. And that is huge. That's one of the biggest things you can do. In fact, in both fiber and protein, really help you feel full, help you feel satiated, which is fantastic as well. So there are some dietary changes, like actual things that you eat that you might want to shift, focusing on anti-inflammatory foods, fiber, and protein. Now, there is one other thing that you also might want to consider, and this is something that Dr. Mary Claire Haver also recommends, and that is intermittent fasting. Now, if you haven't heard of this, this is something I have played with. I haven't done a lot. This is something I'm going to be doing this year as well. And that is to give your body a break from after dinner to breakfast time for a certain amount of time from eating, so that it can restore, rejuvenate, kind of relax. Digestion takes a lot of work. So the ideal, if you will, for perimenopause is you have a 16-hour break and an 8-hour eating window. Now, you can also do 14-10, 15-9, and in fact, I recommend easing your body into it because it can be challenging, right? But two things I've found is, the first is, for me, I sleep better if I don't eat between 3 and 4 hours right before bed. So if I give myself a little bit of break, I'm just starting maybe to feel a little bit hungry or just not satiated anymore. As I go to sleep, I sleep better all night long. I fall asleep better and I sleep better. And so I stop eating. I'm working on 6:30. I'm at 15:9 right now. So 6:30, I don't eat after 6:30, and then I don't eat breakfast until 9:30. But the second thing I learned about myself is I can't push off breakfast. Personally, I've always been a breakfast person. It makes a big difference to my energy all day long if I eat on time. And people say, well, you just have to work up to it. Well, I have done this in the past, and I've tried to work up, and if I get past 10, then I just have a headache or I'm low energy all day long. That's just me, and you have to honor yourself. Dinner, honestly, I could skip most dinners. I eat a ginormous breakfast. We are talking a platter of food. I love breakfast. I do eggs, hash browns, half bagel, sausage, a platter. I kid you not. Watch my stories. I share it on my stories, my breakfast all the time, because I just want people to know I eat real food, right? And then I also eat a really big lunch. And then dinner, I'm like, I make dinner for my husband usually, and I love to cook. And by the time we sit down, I have probably half of what he has. It's like, I'm kind of done. I don't really need food at that point. I'm still getting all my calories. Don't worry about that. I get it in breakfast and that lunch for sure. But so evenings aren't as important to me, but morning is. So I am choosing to do the chunk of my fasting, if you will, at night and on the morning. A lot of people push off breakfast until lunch. You have to honor your body. That's the essence of this. Is I just believe everyone is different, and you have to pay attention and see what works for you. And if it works for you, awesome, fantastic. If it doesn't, then figure out something else, right? Like keep looking to find that thing that works for you. But just know that things do change when you reach this stage, okay? Calorie restriction doesn't work in the same way. And I'm telling you, the next time you hear a fitness professional roll their eyes at you and say, oh, that's stupid. You're just, calories in have to be less than calories out, and then you're going to lose weight. There's no other way the body can be. I actually had to unfollow a couple people on social media because I was like, I just can't hear this anymore because it's not true. Okay, it's not true. You're not crazy. You're not stupid. You're not lazy. Things have changed. And if you just start focusing on the anti-inflammatory, your protein, your fiber, playing with intermittent fasting, maybe 2 or 3 nights a week, see how it goes for you. Start with that 14-10, make it, gentle for yourself and see how it goes and see what happens. Okay, that's it. That's my story. Thanks for listening. If you've gotten all the way to this point, I'm really grateful that you're here. Just know that you're not alone. You're not stupid. You're not lazy. I just want to keep saying that. You're not undisciplined. You just haven't figured out the right thing yet. And it's out there. And I want to encourage you to keep going and love yourself. Love on yourself. Know that this is a journey of self-love and you deserve all of that. You've reached this stage of life and this second half can be just as good, and I would even say even better than that first half. And we just need to figure out what needs to be done. And over the next year, I'm going to be exploring different things. And as much as possible, I want to do one thing at a time so I can see how that affects me before I do the next thing and share my results with you. And I would love to share more. I would love to have you follow me. I've got my Instagram and my Facebook links down below if you want to go follow my stories. I post most days and share what I'm doing, what I'm working on, the good, the bad, hopefully not the ugly. And just so you know, I do have some yoga videos I'm going to be sharing that are specifically for midlife, specifically for you, because I'm thinking about you. So if you want more of these videos, or if you have any questions or comments or support, I would love to know what your journey has been like. I really, really want to hear from you. So thanks for listening, and we'll see you on the next video. I just finished the recording, and it occurred to me I wanted to add one more thing, one more thought that I didn't make clear. I'm also super clear that I don't want to do anything extreme. I am ready to enjoy my life. I am not giving up anything I really love. I'm not going to do anything that's really hard. I just don't want to do that anymore. I'm ready to make the changes I need to make that will help support my energy and my feel good, if you will. And I also want to enjoy life. Ain't got no time for that other stuff anymore. I'm not doing it. And I don't want to make any changes that I can't sustain, because when I stop them, then the tendency is to go back to the symptoms again, No extreme diets, no extreme exercising. I'm just going to slowly make changes and see how they affect me and see where I go. All right, now enough.